so here we are.
All right, we're live.
Yeah, all right, here we are. We're entering the house. We're in a pretty quiet neighborhood. You can see, if you want to look, pan out there, you can see that it's, yeah, it's pretty tidy, pretty quiet. Seems like a pretty good neighborhood, very quiet street. So not a lot of traffic, which is nice. You have some landscaping in the front. Obviously at this time of year, we don't get to really see what it's all going to look like, but it seems like fairly well established. You got some roses apparently, that's good. Yeah, so let's go in. So we enter the house and you see through these, whatever, the sunken living room. Pretty nice space. You have a great fireplace. The sunken, this step is maybe, what is it, about 6 inches? Or, yeah, about 6 inches down. You have kind of some wood floor here. The carpet is a little bit older, but it's in pretty good shape. And then you have this nice wood-burning fireplace, which is pretty attractive. If ever we wanted to fill this in, that could be done. My parents have done something like that. And so it's all, that would be not very difficult to do. I personally don't mind it being sunken. I think it sets off the space pretty well. And then of course right over here you have a fairly spacious dining room with room enough for a decent sized table and some nice big, these are new windows. New windows looking out onto the backyard, which is kind of nice. You get some good light. This is, what direction are we facing here?
East.
We'd be facing east, okay. So yeah, you can see you have pretty big windows here. All of them, all of these here brand new. Then just right off of this living room, I guess, is the kind of the second living room or family room or den or whatever you want to call it, with the gas fireplace. Also sliding glass door onto a kind of back patio on, if that's east, then this would be the north side. So it's shady. It's a bit, that I think the drawback here is that it's the north side is going to be, well, it's also sheltered. That's a sheltered patio. So if we can, it's also not a very new door. So that's something to keep in mind. So you have then the patio back here. This needs to be cleaned up, but then there's a garage entrance, and out here you go to the backyard. Also, you'll see here, you can't go in here, but there's another entrance into a kind of mud room, which will go in this way. That's the laundry room. Laundry room and mud room. There are hookups back here. You have a sink, cabinets, plenty of room here. You could put where Mike is standing, you could have a bench and maybe a coat rack or something, so Sebastian can come in here with his muddy boots on, and you have a wood floor or some sort of, well, it's some kind of laminate or whatever, but it's pretty decent quality, and so that's nice for him coming in from the outside. There is also a small half bath, which is in reasonably good condition. It does have this kind of strange accordion door thing, which I don't fully understand, but yeah, that's minor updates might be worth doing there at some point. Okay, so we're back in this room. Also, you have that kind of vaulted ceiling, the gas fireplace, and then over here is the garage, so we can head through there. And then we'll look at the kitchen, but first let's just look in the garage. You have pretty nice, a 3-car garage, plenty of space, at least one older door opener, but the other one seems a bit newer, the main one, and so it's a pretty spacious 3-car garage, which is nice. And we would both be able to park in here and still have some room for storage or whatever else might be necessary. And then the kitchen. So the kitchen is kind of a mixed bag. I love the space itself. There's a tremendous amount of counter space. So all sort of prep work, cooking, baking, whatever is possible here. You can see this is a massive countertop. So it's pretty big, and you have an edge there that you can see there are stools that can go there, so that's very nice. The cabinets are pretty old. Also, the fridge comes with, I don't know how old that is, it's not new, but it would be nice at least for a while. The cabinets are older. They're not in terrible shape. Well, okay, they're not in great shape. Actually, they're not in good shape. They're not in that good shape. So the cabinets are not great. That's something that's just a fact. You can see they're well, yeah. The cabinets need some work. You also have probably an original range here, so that's something to keep in mind. This is definitely from 1979 when it was built. You have the vent going down, so that's something that we'd have to consider in probably the near future would need to be replaced. I'm sure it works, obviously, but how much longer we want that to work would be a different story. You also have some sort of older appliances here. They're not that old, but they're also not new. So yeah, the cabinetry is all, it's older. You can see it's kind of a little rickety. Some of the doors don't shut that well. They're not dirty or anything, not really. They're, it seems like it's been reasonably well taken care of, but it's just old. It's been lived in and it's old, but everything does seem like it's been pretty well taken care of. The countertops, for example, are not new, but at the same time, they're in pretty good shape. You don't see a lot of like peeling and chipping. There's a little bit here and there, but they're actually, I think it's been well taken care of for the most part. Okay, so coming back in here, we've looked at this. Let's go down the hall, past the front door. You've got, some closet space there for kind of coat closet stuff. Oh, that's the furnace. The furnace is from 2014, it looks like, and a somewhat newer water heater as well. So that's good. More closet space, linen closet. You have then 2 bedrooms, smaller bedrooms, secondary bedrooms. Very old carpet, as you can see, which is different and really, let's face it, it's quite ugly. But everything else seems like it's in pretty good shape. Obviously, it needs a coat of paint and everything, but you can tell the walls aren't beat up. There isn't, there's not been any abuse, I guess, is what I'd say. I don't see any abuse. I don't see any evidence of any kind of water leaks or, stains on any of the ceilings in the house, which is very good. The roof we looked at is probably about halfway through its life. It maybe has another 10 years on it. So you've got this closet with some, that's sort of, these windows, by the way, are not new. These are older. So not all the windows have been replaced, only those ones in the main room. The rest of them are older. Again, kind of the same story, same kind of bedroom. This is looking out on the front of the house. But it would make, either one of these would make a good study, or, one could be Sebastian's room, another could be an office or even a guest room. This would be the main bath. This is pretty old. Again, not badly taken care of, but you can tell. I mean, you can just look at it and see that these are very, this is all pretty dated. The tub and shower is not great. In fact, it's pretty bad. To be honest, this has really seen better days and probably something would have to be done about that pretty quickly. But again, mostly the room itself is in pretty good shape. Then you have the master. Nice hardwood floor. This makes me wonder how much of this hardwood floor actually goes through the house, and I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Mike. But
it looks like a laminate to me.
Oh, is it?
Yep. It looks like it's about a 6-inch.
You're right.
Laminate.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so it doesn't, but it looks like it looks pretty good. It's fairly attractive. It's not really a cheaper one. And you have some pretty decent closet space in 2 closets. I will say this is like some homemade shelving in here, which is really pretty bad. I would have to replace that somehow, which wouldn't be that big of a deal. And then, I guess I didn't even notice before that there's another closet here kind of same deal. So plenty of closets.
Yep.
And then there's, again, with this sort of door, you have the master bathroom. The master bathroom is pretty old. Everything in here is pretty old. You know, I think these have clearly come at some point later, but again, old but not really badly taken care of. That's the way that things look on below a sink. But basically pretty, yeah, these are, they're okay, but not great. Again, the shower is kind of a walk-in shower. You can see this is also, you know, seen a lot of use and is not in great shape, and we'd have to do something about that. So this is, I think, not really. It's very well worn. I'll just put it that way. So, but again, I see no. No damage, or it seems like a house that has been treated well. I don't know how many owners it's had, maybe Mike knows, but it's been treated reasonably well, but parts of it just haven't really been changed or updated in many, many years, and some of it is still original. So that's kind of that's the house.
I think it said same owner for 25 years.
25 years, wow.
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. Well, which kind of makes sense, right? That someone would have, you'd have the same carpet and that sort of thing. We can also go outside. I think it'd be worth looking at the yard as well.
Okay, and that's just through the back window there.
Mm-hmm.
I can come back in on the kitchen.
Okay. We'll go out this way. So leaving through the mudroom, again, we're out on the patio here where you could have, a grill and maybe a table or something. And then you have the backyard. Not huge, but manageable. This is like a manageable yard, and I think it's big enough for a child to play in. You have a dog next door, which is worth knowing about.
That's good to know.
And the fence, obviously it's fenced in. The fence is, I don't know what the age of that fence would be. Most of it over there, it needs to be repaired. It's actually kind of coming, something might have been leaning against it or something. It's broken and needs to be repaired. But the rest of it looks fairly solid. It seems like it's in reasonably good shape. And I think that's, it's holding together. Then we have a shed. And there's a little bit of there's kind of a side yard there. You have a gate to get through from the front to the back. And then you've got kind of a shed here for tools and such. Not a bad size. I don't know how much you really care about the shed, and this is something that maybe I would care more about, but it's good. It's a good thing to have. Okay, so and there's some landscaping here. Frankly, most of it doesn't look that great. It doesn't look that bad. Some of these bushes are overgrown, and maybe we'd want to do something else back here, but it's there. So, and again, you can hear there's a dog. So. Okay, and then you also have, a couple of mature trees, which is nice, and I'm sure those provide some good shade in the spring and summer. I think that's about it.
Okay.